Right. Yes. Hello, Randy. It's I always am going live at about 10 minutes until the market opens. Maybe in case you were wondering if I was late or something, and you were looking for me and I wasn't showing up. That's 9:20. I think that maybe you thought it was 9 or maybe 9:15 or 9:10 or something. 9:20. So I'm right on time. I am here, and we're live. Oh, that's funny. It played that, but I didn't hear it. Why not? Let me see. Ah, okay. Yeah. There we go. Now I can hear it. All right. I think I'll wait for like one or two more, and then I'll go over the. Well, we don't really have time, so I might as well go for it. Okay. That's their fault for missing it. Today we don't really have economic updates that are going to move things too much. Tomorrow we've got some building permits and housing starts numbers in the morning. That's probably not going to affect the market too much. A little bit. But at 2 p.m. that day, we're going to get some minutes from the Fed. So, like what they've been talking about over the last week. Then Thursday, this is a short week, 4 days. Then Thursday, the third day here of this week, we're going to get jobless claims numbers. So that can move the market. That's Thursday. And then Friday, existing home sales and some final Michigan consumer sentiment numbers to give us the exact, really true numbers on their quarterly reportings. So nothing cataclysmic, but Thursday with jobless claims, that's probably going to do something. Friday, we got the PMI numbers for global. So, but none of these are really that big of a deal. So, they are, but it depends on like the economical times. But some numbers can be more important than others depending on what kind of wound the state of the economy is having. So, I expect this week to be basically fairly smooth. Or let me put it this way: I expect this week to be without cataclysmic change in the middle of the day. However, it's very possible that means that this week is choppy and tricky all week. That just means it's choppy. That means it wants to go sideways all week. So if it's a sideways market all week, then that's how it's going to manifest. We were very extended, and we're hitting new all-time highs this morning on the market. The stock market has never been at these levels ever before in the history of mankind. That's what an all-time high would mean. So, the market continues to do good and continues to run, and it's just getting started coming out of its base. Now, sometimes when it does that, that means it's going to go on a run for a month or two. So like here's a base, it comes out, it's a little bit, zigzaggy of a start, but in the end, it did go. And eventually it came even down lower than the base. That's a base in and of itself. Then there's like an inner base in there as well. But when that broke out, that's very common for it to be off to that sort of zigzaggy start. But then it ran there as well. So coming out of a base doesn't mean it's just going to go straight up. But it can mean that you're in for a period of, over the next like month or two, of appreciation. It can mean that. It doesn't always mean that. Like back here, well, no, it did mean it there. But there'll be examples, just there hasn't been for a year, of where it comes out of the base and then it comes back in and then puts in a tighter thing later and does that one more time. And it can stretch things out if it wants to. All right, 3.5 minutes until the market opens. Hey, there's Michael. Good morning. And why am I not? Whoops. Oh, man, what did I just do? Well, that's all right. I am not. There it goes. It was not showing that you were here, Michael. Now it's showing. Okay, went over the economic reports for the week. Not that cataclysmic of a week. Things can either be choppy, or they can be red and pulling back, or they can be green and pushing forward. Seems like green and pushing forward might be the way things are going to go, but yields are up this morning. And so is gold. So there's some signs of inflation going on, and the VIX is up. Yet the markets are up as well. So some stuff that's bad and contrary to the way the market is up in pre-market this morning are also up and being contrary to that. So I think you could almost think of it like trying to put in the last reps when working out or something, and you just don't have anything left, but you do have something left, and so you go for it, but the pressure is just way on, like it's just ratcheted up, you know. So that's kind of like what it seems like we're going to open like this morning. Maybe that means we're going to have a red week, and I wouldn't mind that. That's exactly what we kind of need. Things are a little bit too elevated. Like, I don't know, you just pick any name, and like right now things are just, they've really gone. And that's not to say they can't keep going, but it'd be nice if things pulled back for a week and we used these next 4 days to constructively create a little more of a little dip area. And so in that respect, expect potentially for this week to be red in your portfolio, for you to lose money, for things to pull back, for you to be testing and getting close to stops. It could happen that way. It could manifest that way. And what happens then, though, is that a few days later, or the next day sometimes, that manifests as new signaled entries. And that's good for the stocks you're in already, because that's going to bring in new buyers. But it could also be a spot where you add on, or you refigure your stops, or anything. It can be helpful in many ways. So, pullbacks are great. We make money when things run, and that's great, but we can't plant seeds when things are running. We have to wait for the rainy season, or we have to wait for rain, and then the sun comes out. That's when you get out there and you start planting seeds. See, we've circled all the way back around to gardening again. Oops, what did you say? What about Goog today? Is this live? Yes, it is. Oh, hey, Mom. It's my mom. Maybe 180 on Goog. Let's see. So Google did not recover well from that drop, whereas everybody else did. So that's a sign of weakness. It didn't have the resiliency needed, but it's Google. It's going to be around. You can keep it as an investment, but for a trade, it's very weak right now. Let's see. The market is open. So let's see what we got from the open here. What's coming out of the gate? Strong. So I would think Google is just going to hang out in these areas for a while. It's not going to get above that drop point of 193 very easily. But once it does, that's going to be the recovery process. Right now, it's not recovering at all. It's acting weak and bleedy. Google. It didn't even recover from that drop. Like others have remained much stronger in the face of that happening. All right, so I have a couple things in my port going up good this morning. That's NRG. Yeah, very nice follow through on the open there. Shopify. Mucosa gracias. What? Mucosa gracias or something. Mucosa would be snot. Hi, bro. What about vol? Meaning volume, or a stock named vol? So I think you're talking about volume. It's going to pull it up. There it is. We need to let a little bit more time transpire this morning because I have my custom programmed my predictive volume indicator. And it doesn't really start to get accurate until about 10, 20, 30 minutes after the market opens because of the mathematical calculations. It's showing today would be a very strong day of volume on Google. And it's selling, so it'd be a very strong selling day on Google. But that's only at the open, and like I said, so I think like maybe in like 30 minutes we have to come back and check on that. But outside, if we don't add today into that figure, then there's the volume figures. And the volume says it's gotten low. So things are settling in on Google. Things are settling in. So it might be weak and it might not be ready to move for a little while. But it looks like maybe things have settled in. It's settling into prices. I've been getting some profit targets hit. Let's see, what did I get filled? I got 2 orders filled. One was, I got 2 profit targets hit on NRG because it's up and elevated from our entry back here. I believe I have an 8-to-1 on that because we were able to get a nice tight entry. Yeah, 8-to-1. And I've already got about a third of the way of that. So I've gotten about 2.5 to 3-to-1 out of our 8-to-1 expected return on that. And I also just got a profit target on TLN hit. This is a 4-to-1 setup. Swing scalp. These swing scalps are the best way to treat this market right now. Bros. I'm getting some follow through on Bros. That's an entry on Bros for anybody not in Bros. This is a absolutely perfect entry on Bros this morning. $85 entry. Put your stop at the bottom of the day today, 82 or 81. Our math indicates going for the tighter stop, 82, is worth the extra risk. So that's $3 a risk on a stock that's normally $3.59 every day of range. So you should be able to get about a 5-to-1 out of that. So you'd set up a 5-to-1. So my question to myself is, do I want to do that right now? Because I already have a position in Bros. Let me go look at my history on that. I got another profit target hit while we were just sitting here as well. NRG. And I just got Docs. Got some profits targeting on Docs. Very good. Nice follow through there. Now back to Bros, because this is an incredible opportunity here on Bros. 3 days ago with this huge pivotal ER result, and then it pulled back. But today is the follow through moment right now. $85 entry, $82 stops. That's $3 of stop. So my risk unit is $350. Divide that by the $3 for the stop. That means I could get 116 shares. Now I think I already do have that. Let me go check. Bros. I have 66 shares. So I'm already in though. I have a cost average of 80. So, but for any of you who are not in and you want Bros, that's Dutch Brothers, the coffee company. They're doing just remarkably outstanding. They came out of a stage 1 flatline in November of last year, and they're up 100% since then. Oh, there it is. Very nice follow through on Bros, hitting 85.30. It's really filling in nicely on the intraday. I would like to see maybe 4 points to an uptrend zigzag intraday to solidify that $85 entry. Yahoo Finance. So Yahoo said up in pre. What, Google? I wrote muchos and it changed it to mucosa. Yeah. Have a mucus filled. Thank you. This Bros is just, perfect. You don't get these huge catalyst ER entries. Oh, somebody just said they got Bros on the open. And I just got another profit target hit on Palm. My question is, do I add 60 shares here on Bros? Because I think I do. I think I should. Let me go see. If I get a 5-to-1 on this Bros, where's my target right now? My top target on Bros is 95.36. 95.36. Looks like I have a very good profit target set up there, very realistic. Let me slap a 5-to-1 on there to see what would I be getting myself into, because I already have targets to 95. 5-to-1 would be targeting $99. Yeah, I think we probably could test that. I think that's what it wants to test. But currently, I don't know what I currently have. Somehow I have targets all the way up to 95, which seems much more feasible though. But I can get almost double the position by getting in here. I'm going to let it fill in a little bit, but you guys are welcome to get a 5-to-1 setup on Bros entry here, stop at 82 for a swing scalp. That can manifest over the following, maybe 6 sessions to get there. Just make sure you set a lot of partials. I like to set like 10 partials all the way up. 10%, 10%, 10%, taking out 10% all every time all the way to $99. So from 85, you could take, for instance, you could take one every $1 or $2 till finally you're in your last order gets sold right at $99, right underneath 99. Always put your orders underneath key psychological levels because they could be resistance. So like if you want to target 99, you want to target 89 and 89 cents. Because that's going to get hit. Whereas 89.99 might come and there'll be too much of a wall at 90 for there to be any fills. And you'll be left not getting filled. Oh, that happens a lot. So I don't do that. Well, it is taken off. It's now at 85.30. What I'm trying to look for, well, yeah, there is a little bit of follow through actually. I was trying to look for a little hook, a little pullback on intraday. That is 4 points to an uptrend. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to add on. I have to add on 70 shares to get to 116. I believe 50 shares. All right. And I'm not going to chase, so I'm going to just get a market buy order out right away. There we go. And my stop, because I've been in this for a while, since November, I've been multiple buying and increasing my position on this. My average price, is 82.50. So that's pretty cool. That's right up around my stop. So this is basically a no risk trade for me. All right, now I'm going to set up my exits. You can watch me do that if you like. Let's see. So we're going to do from 85 to 99 is $15. If I want to put an exit underneath every dollar, then I need to divide my 116 shares by 15 to figure out how many to sell every dollar increment up. So 116 divided by 15 rather, is 7.7. So about 8 shares I need to sell underneath every dollar all the way up. So that's what I'm going to do now. First one will be underneath 86, which probably will hit any minute here. So I want to get that in there, but 8 shares, and then you got to put those for good till cancel, even including external hours. All right, 85.98, there we go. 86.98. 87.98. You can see me putting them on my ladder active trader over there. 88.98. Just got another target on NRG. That thing must be just flying. I'm going to go check it out right after we get these orders in, just to look at it, just to admire it. 89.98. I'm in it and I'm making my money. 90.98. 89.98, 90.98, 91.98, and we're trying to get all the way up to 99. Let's see if our math was correct. We'll see when we get there. 91.98, 92.98. See how I'm selling right underneath every dollar level, not at the dollar level. Don't type in the actual dollar levels ever. Always just under. 94.98. 95.98, and so I'm doing 15 exits. So sometimes we do 10, but you can do whatever mathematically fits. It makes it easy on you. The better you get at math, or the better you are at math, the more you can be a little flexible and make things easy. 97.98. That brings us to 98. And one more order of 8 will be 98.98. That takes us to our target. And I can see that I have 4 shares left because of rounding. So I've put in 14 orders, and that's taken me to 112 shares, but I have 116 shares. So I have 4 left. So what I'll do is I'll change that to 1 share. And like I said before, what I do is I just put those in between the closest shares because they're more probable. So 85.73. 86.43, or like 48, so it's halfway in between. So I'm just putting the remaining shares down where they can more probably get hit, and that's it. Done. All right, let's go check out NRG. Yeah, look at that beautiful follow through. Entry was back here. We're now, I believe, halfway to our goal on this. I believe it was a 4-to-1 or 8-to-1. I think we have an 8-to-1 set up there. Could have been, almost could have been a 16-to-1 the way it's set up. Let me see here. But we got in on the, okay, I got in on a red dog reclaim signal. Very rare, beautiful entry signal where price appears to be still down low, and yet you can get in because it predicts that the stock's going to move. It's switched over to an upcycle. I got that target on Bros already. Got that target on Bros. So Bros going to keep going. Going to keep hitting targets here. Hi, Mom. Randy, my one of my members, says hello to you. Randy lives out in Florida with his wife and has a little boat and everything, and is just enjoying the life. NRG, Bros. Let's go over to Bros again. Yeah, so we're getting that follow through on Bros. It's almost to 86 now. Whenever you're able to get into something on a tight stop, it allows you to get more RR, more reward to risk ratio. And because of that, it allows the trade to not work out more often. Meaning, let's say you get an 8-to-1 setup on something because you get a very tight risk to stop. And let's say you're able to set up an 8-to-1 because of that. That means 7 out of 8 times that trade doesn't have to work out. And you still will break even. That one time it does. 7 out of 8 times it doesn't have to work out. And then 1 time is all you need. That's because of the high RR, risk reward. So for example, 7 out of 8 times not working out. That's 16% of the time working out. Bros just hit another target, I believe. 16%. In other words, you only need an 8R setup to be repetitively set. You only need it to work out 16% of the time for it to be profitable. You only need a win rate of 16%. Wow. It does much better than that most of the time, so as long as you're picking good setups. No, I don't think I did. Did I get 85? I did get hit. My next profit target on Bros already hit. So I've already gotten 1/15th out of Bros. That's great. Now, let's see if there's any new opportunities. It looks like the market did what I said, which is it pulled back. I told you this is probably going to be a red week all week. And that we're even able to take some profits here on some of our stocks is good. But it does mean I should probably take a look and see if there's anything not working out. I can see that RCL, one of my positions, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, is pulling back strong today. But it is progressed along from my red dog entry. The red dog entry was back here. And with a stop down here. And an entry right here. That allowed, see how tight that stop is? Nice little range. That allowed for probably an 8-to-1. I'm going to check in a second. That's probably what I set up. 8-to-1. Maybe even 16-to-1. Let's go see. The normal dollar range of every day is about $8 on Royal Caribbean. $8 of movement every day. But that day, for my entry, I got 256.50 with a stop at 253. So that's $3.50. So that's close to half the size of a normal day, which means we can go for an 8-to-1, and that is what I set up. I set up an 8-to-1 on RCL, and it's doing good. It looks like Bros. Yeah, see that white line? It's really moving out from the entry. It's now at $86. So now your stop would be getting wider, and so you can't really go for a 5-to-1 anymore. If you were to get in now, it'd be a little bit too late to get a 5-to-1 set up. Now you'd probably have to go for a 4-to-1. The stop at 82 and the entry at 86, if you were getting in now, that's $4 of risk. And the average day's range is 367. So now you can only get about a 3.8 or a 4-to-1, because we know our baseline risk on average days is 4-to-1. When we get half that for our risk to stop, a tight stop like that, we can go for 8-to-1. And when we get a quarter, boy, what an opportunity that is. We can go for 16-to-1. All right, I'm getting some strong pullback on RCL. Yeah, red day today on RCL. Shopify pulling back. So the market is pulling back fairly hard, relatively speaking. It's not really that bad. But I expect that this is what I told you. Expect your portfolio to be red this week. We were able to get a couple of profits taken on follow through on stocks that we already have. But the reason why I'm not really throwing out any names, you're up enough on Bros to go get a coffee from them this morning. Nice, Michael. Way to go. Your mom and I are probably closer in age than you and I. Well, that's probably true, Randy. I'm not going to guess my mom's age because, I don't know. I kind of know, but I don't really know. But I'd have to check, I think, I'm not going to say, but, let's say let's say she's in her golden 70s or her silver 70s, I believe. Is probably the most that I'm allowed to say publicly. So that is probably true. 5 shares, Michael. Nice. All right. And you've got yourself all set up on that, hopefully. But what I was going to say is that there's really it's not, because of the pullback on the day, on the market, it's not really a day to get into anything. But there might be one thing that's triggering. So let's go through the things that are green on the day that are stocks possibly that we might want. This one, Black Sky Technology, is interesting, but it's a little bit more penny stockish. So what's the market cap on that? Is that right? 177 billion? All right. It sure doesn't look good as far as these things go, but it might be in an upcycle coming out of a long base, but it's a little bit unproven. If we were stocking it a little better, we probably could get an entry there a little bit earlier on the day at around 1850 with a stop at this pivot low here, 1575, maybe even just going for the swing scalp instead of a position build. So in that case, our stop would be 17. Anyway, we're not going to, but I am going to put it on my hot list. BKSY. It's something intriguing and it can provide return. It's my hot list at this point. Picking up a lot of names on the hot list at this point. Let's see. So other names also. UMAC. Looks like Bros is following through now. Woo! Another follow through on Bros. Feeling really comfortable about having gotten in now. That's what I needed to see. Now we've had 2 pullbacks and breaks to new highs intraday. So that just makes the day feel like by the end of the day, it's going to kind of hold up enough. It's going to stay up here. And that's all we really want. We want that kind of confidence to be able to get in at the beginning of the day. UMAC, no. I just got another profit target on Bros. There we go. How's NRG? NRG is now pulling back after hitting a couple of those profit targets. Everything's retreating. SOC. No. Well, no. Too manic. Hippo Holdings. No. I wonder if that's... No, never mind. DAR. Vate. Oh, this Vate is really just like geysering. And then straight up. That's pretty nice. You can almost consider that a high type flag that's like vertical. That's pretty impressive. Like this. It means it could have another blast off. It's got earnings coming in like 2 weeks. Now, it could be a holy grail. Let me measure it. Yeah, 126% in 4 days. Holy grails are over 100% in less than a month. And so that totally qualifies as holy grail, because the secondary condition for holy grail is that the flag pullback was no more than 40%. And this one only pulled back 21%. And in fact, it's actually flagging upward, which shows a lot of strength. So this becomes something to watch. Holy grail, but it is a penny stock, so it's on the shittier side of stock picks. You know, like it's not Palantir, which, you know, is, you're going to get these beautiful, reliable movements from. But what was that? Vate? What was I on? Hippo? I forget. Was it Vate? Where was I on there? Yeah, Vate, VATE. You guys just basically got to keep that on your penny stock day trading type of position list. You can swing scalp it as well, but it is less of a proven company. What else we got? ACHR. I believe either I'm already in that or I've been in that. Oh, this would be an entry day. So nice cheat pullback entry moment here. However, it looks like it's turning red on the day. ACHR. Let's look at it on our 4UP. So we can get some different perspectives. ACHR, number one. Am I in it? I might have got knocked out of it. I think I was in it. No, I'm not. Archer Aviation. And what do? Engages in the development of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. So this is like real pie in the sky, like literally a spinning pie. You have a son 2 years older than me, 51. Oh yeah, that's cool. ACHR. So the question is, do we love it? Do we want it? ACHR. What is the market cap? 102 billion. I'm not trusting these market cap numbers that I have here. What? Hold on a minute. I think these numbers are off. That's a point. Or no, that's a comma. I think these numbers are all off. ACHR. I'm going to have to look at right over here. Market cap, 5 billion. Well, what the heck? Yeah. Why are my market cap numbers all off? There must be something wrong with the system this morning with Thinkorswim. Okay, so anyway, ACHR is in the realm of an entry, but it's kind of turning red on the day, so because the market is pulling back. You might want to wait till the end of the day for those signals. I don't know, pullback day like today, yeah, wait for the end of the day. I mean, it's important during pullback days like this on the market or pullback weeks on the market for you to be able to discover what's actually acting strong in the face of that. It might not create an entry, or you might want to limit yourself to not entering things because the market is pulling back. But at least you go, oh, okay, these 7 stocks I discovered this week are really hanging out at pull position. And when the market winds change in my favor and are at my back, I'm going to grab some. when they signal. So that's how you can use days like this. And so I will put that on my list, but it might already be on there. It sounds familiar. ACHR. I don't see it. Nope. Okay, so I'll put it on there though. ACHR. And we could potentially check in on everything on my hot list. Probably wouldn't even take too long. Docs is following through on our entry on Thursday. Friday, Tuesday. Yep, we got an entry on Docs on Thursday that was alerted. And we're getting some follow through on that. Did I hit even? Yeah, I did hit one profit target on that already. I have a 4-to-1 set up on that. So it's not super tasty. 4-to-1's pretty good though. But it's not 8-to-1 or 16-to-1 or 12-to-1. Docs. Why did I pull up Docs just now? Did I see it on a list somewhere? Yeah, I did. Okay. Hypo, XPOF, SOC, Loma, Tost, AS. Let me check out Tost. Looks like I got stopped out of that recently. It's going to be earnings tomorrow on Tost. Or the next day. Let me see if it's before or after. Wednesday night will be earnings. So you don't want to really be getting into anything before earnings. You always want to wait for the earnings to come out. Except if you're able to get in, like a week or two early or even more, so that on the hope that there'll be a run up to earnings and you can get yourself 5, 10, 15, 20% gains of padding going into earnings that might completely evaporate when earnings come. Just realize that. But I don't go into earnings ever holding anything without profit padding. If you don't have profit padding, you're setting yourself up for a coin flip of a loss. You got to subsidized. You have to subsidize going into earnings with profits. You have to subsidize that risk. Let's see. Energy NNE following through a little bit on our entry. Good. Okay. Not a signal. Docs Bros. We've already looked at. Bros. Very nice up there. That is your classic. I mean, right, Randy? This is just classic ER catalyst breakout. A couple days later, follow through entry. Classic. It took 1 or 2 days, 3 days total, to kind of pull back and then put in an entry, and there it is. And that is Bros. Okay, let's go through some of these other picks. KC. Oh, right. Finally, we're getting some pullback on Kingsoft Cloud. This stock has been just incredible. And I'd love for it to go into a pullback cycle for a couple of days, if not a week or two. Nice long one like this would be beautiful. At that point, you could have even gotten in at 1050 there. And it went all the way to 2169, so double that money. Anyway, we're hoping for, because of this strong pullback, we're hoping for it to wring out a lot of the current holders and then finally find some support from new interest and then start to firm up and take off. And that'll be our entry when it does that in a month or something. It depends on how long it takes. I'd like to see a long, prolonged pullback to make it healthy again. But we love that KC. Hood. So Robinhood kind of made an entry on signal on yesterday, on Friday. But now it's pulling back quite a bit on that entry signal. And let's see if it finds a little bit of support today. But this market might test it. GLW. This one's in an upcycle and it has nice runs when it signals. The last signal on it would have been pretty much Friday. You could still get that price today, and you could put your stop down here at 5180. GLW 5180. It's not ideal to enter on a red day. Maybe at the end of the day today, you could think about entering GLW with a stop right underneath here, 5180. From 5260 is about 80 cents of risk. It's $1.40 every day of of typical range. So it's roughly half. So yeah, you could set up an 8-to-1 on that if you end up getting entry on that. So GLW, possibly an entry today. I'm going to put that on my little short list today of watch on my napkin list. GLW, United Airlines. Yeah, it would be an entry day today if you guys aren't already in it. I am already in it, but if you guys aren't already in it, it would be an entry day right now today if it can hold green. So you might have to watch that throughout the day, see if it holds green. If it does hold green, I'd say you put the stop at the previous day's low, $100.60. And it's at 104.60 roughly, so it's about a $4 stop, and that's the typical range. So it sets up about a 4-to-1. It's not an 8-to-1, but all right. NNE dogs. What am I looking at here? Okay, our short list. Palantir, our hot list. Right, we already looked at that. That's running. No pullback entry or anything signaling there. HIMS, finally pulling back a little bit. Thank goodness. Kivyo. All right, it's not signaling, but it is consolidating a little bit before earnings. Duolingo, pulling back after a strong push. We're already in that, and maybe that'll create a signal or another push soon. GEV, I got knocked out of that the other day. Could have stayed in, as it turns out, if I had waited to the end of the day's signal. AFRM, no signal there on yet. AFRM, well, the best entry signal would have been a couple of days ago, like Thursday. Yeah, that would have been a good signal. I might have alerted that, maybe not at the end of the day, but during the live stream. That's kind of a call out type of entry. Let's see if I actually alerted it officially. No official alert, but unofficially that was probably called out on Friday, Thursday. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That would have been nice. AFRM, HIMS, ANET. That's not looking too great. We will still try it though. TPL, the really nice VCP starting to form here. Right hand side tightening. But it is coming at the expense of it being a very chaotic and odd looking pullback and strong, showing it weakness. Strong pullback, too strong. However, it's still in play, but we've got earnings coming up, so maybe in a couple of days we'll see how it reacts to that earnings. And if it shapes up like Bros, like if it does a little curvy in and out ER, then over the course of 3 days after ER, then maybe we got an entry. TPL NRG, I'm already in, and it's following through nicely. It's definitely not an entry day. It's a take profit day. You already want to be in that. Monday, still pulling back, created an entry this morning. However, hasn't followed through on that, but by the end of the day, it could. Again, I'll put that on my short list, MNDY. Let's see how it ends up at the end of the day, because you can see how it got over the prior day's high here, but it has pulled back since then. We want to see follow through, and it did not. So we'll keep that on watch, and eventually it's going to get to be an entry signal, because this is a very nice strong catalyst day. High volume back here on earnings. I'm not sure. Let's see if it was a price breakout. It was. Looks like all-time highs, or okay, not all-time highs, but certainly like the last year or two, 52-week highs. So that's strong, cataclysmic moment for Monday. The market continues to pull back. Like I said, your port might go red. Roblox pulling back a little bit. Monday docs, MSTR. Okay, not a signal, but certainly it is consolidating. TLN, I'm already in. We're taking some profits on that. CLS. Okay. Everything's got like topping signs. Everything's topping out as far as all our beautiful picks. Net. That's Cloudflare. NNE. NNE is now pulled back as well. Everything's pulling back. EDR. Well, that's really strong pullback. Am I in that? I wanted to be in it. Okay, good. I'm not in it. And so this is a nice pullback. Hopefully it will settle in before earnings, and then earnings will catalyze an entry following a couple days after that. So earnings are on the 27th of February. So we still got about a week or 2 or 3 to go on EDR before maybe an entry on that one. Zillow Group. Big drop, but now is finally a follow through, and it's coming out of the gap. Actually, I think this could be an entry here. The question is where to put the stop. 77 roughly for an entry at 81 is $4 a risk. The average day is 3, so you can only get about a 3 to 1. So it's we sort of missed the boat on that. The best entry would have been today at 80, so $1 less, and that would have been a roughly $3 or $4 to stop. Also, could probably do 3 at 77, and it's 3 average range, so you could get a 4 to 1 setup. That's not super delicious. 4 to 1s are good, better than 2 to 1s and 3 to 1s. But yeah, we're going to really try to filter out 4 to 1s and try to stick to 5 to 1s or better. For some reason, I can't remember his name right now, but one of the greatest traders of all time says he never takes anything under a 5 to 1. He's a billionaire trader. Very famous. I can't remember his name. He's been trading since the 80s. I can picture his face. Super famous. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now. Zillow, SE. And so, I would say he's right. SE continues to run and be a profit taker. I'm up 20% on it. If we get into earnings, I will have a huge padding, hopefully, to be able to hold through earnings. My next profit target on SE is 143. And back here, when I got in at 115, and it pulled back and it's gone forward, you can't be sure how long it would take to get to such prices of 143, but sure enough, it eventually is getting really close now. It's at 139 this morning, so only $4 away, and it moves $4 every day on average, whether that's down or up or sideways or whatever. So SE, this is a beautiful, beautiful uptrend, SE. This is probably model stock of the year right now for us, for me to show you what a gorgeous looking stock should look like. Moved over the 200, came out of a stage 1, it looks like a brief stage 1. Just continued to undulate and break out to new pivot highs. Beautiful. SE. RCL, we've watched. RCL has found a little support, I guess. Yeah, found support halfway through the day here. Not the day, but halfway through the prices that it's put in on the day so far. DocU, not Docs, but DocU, not an entry. Keeps pulling back. FTNT. Woo! This thing is flying. Wow. You really want to stock any entry signal on FTNT. This one's hot, because it tends to push strong on every entry signal. If we look at where the entry signals are on this, we can see we have one here, and you can just like track the follow through. Here. 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 So far, every one of those followed through correctly, but let's backtrack a little bit. Here. Yeah, and actually that followed through to a 8 to 1. Here. that did not follow through. So that one finally failed out. We got one loser. That failed out right here, depending on if you held it to the end of the day. Otherwise, it actually didn't fail out. Almost all my trades, like 90% of them that I cut when they hit my stop, recover by the end of the day. And I would not have sold them. So I'm getting close to waiting to the end of the day on signals like that. Anyway, pull back. Harrison entry here. Looks like an 8-to-1 that totally worked out. Entry here. That looks like a 4-to-1 that didn't fully work out, but also didn't get stopped out. Well, it did get stopped out here, but it kind of made half of its profits up to there. We go, and then there's Catalyst Day, and then Catalyst Day follow through, which looks like it definitely worked out. You got a 16-to-1 potentially on that one. That was highly profitable, ER follow through type of day. And this was before earnings. You wouldn't have taken it, but that is an entry that did work out. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 entries that triggered since November. 3, so like 3 months. 10 entries in 3 months. Only one half worked out. All the rest of them worked out. And most of those got 4-to-1, 8-to-1, and there wasn't even a 16-to-1. So we could probably say an average of 6-to-1 per trade, and there was 10. So 60-to-1. So 60 R return, and then like a half R minus half R on this one. So is that a profitable stock or what? Highly profitable. Providing 60 R versus negative 0.5 R. You want to be taking signals on this every day they come. Highly profitable. So for me, a risk unit of 350 times 60, looking at a $21,000 return on one risk unit. Excellent. Bros is filling in right now. Very nice. So that's what I was talking about, how, making that 4 points to an uptrend. It did 6 of them, actually. It should hold up by the end of the day. It should stay green by the end of the day. FTNT. Okay, where am I on the list there? BSX. FTNT is just, what a beautiful stock. BSX, we've got a Red Dog reclaim going on. It's kind of wide, though. What's going on here? 103 stop, 105 roughly entry is about $2 a risk on a stock that's $1.74 a day. Yeah, so it kind of messed everything up. So you can't get in. It's a Red Dog is the lowest entry signal you could ever get. It's fantastic. It's the most pulled back, best priced, most discounted signal you can ever get on a stock. But sometimes because of the where the stop is, that just ends up not being a signal. And we love BSX. This is beautiful. I mean, compared to SC, it might be even better, but I think the ADR is a little low. ADR and SC is $3.90 or 3% ADR, whereas BSX, I think it's lower than what we want. Yeah, 1.6%. But hey, if you can get tight RR and it follows through, good. Dash. Okay, following through. Upstart. Chopping around, kind of an entry signal after ER. Upstart, it's an entry today. $6 range normally, 87 entry right now with a stop at 83 would be 4. $6 range. So you're talking about 0.66 R. I gotta sneeze. 0.6, like 2/3 of range. So not quite 0.5 or 8-to-1, but not 1-to-1, which would be 4-to-1. So not 8-to-1, not 4-to-1. So what is it? 6-to-1. So this is a good setup, 6-to-1. Let me take a look at the intraday movement. Upstart. Maybe we get in on that. Oh, we definitely a beautiful 4-to-1. It looks like it's going to hold. Pulling back right now for better price as well. All right, it's at 86, 83, so like roughly 87 to a stop at 83, so about $4 a risk. Yep. All right, for me, that means 88 shares I can get. it's in a little bit of a pullback cycle, so I should be able to get the bid. So I can get a slightly discounted entry. But it has about a 15-cent spread right now. We're going in for surgery. You know, this is like, now we're getting surgical when we get entries or exits. Entries and exits are surgical. Okay, I'm having trouble getting a fill. Yeah, it is being bought up right now on this pullback a little bit. There we go. Got my fill at 86.82. Now I set up the 6 to 1. 6 to 1. That would be to roughly 108.50. 108.50 from roughly 87. 100 and what did I say? 108. I'm just gonna call it 108 from 87. 108 minus 87. I believe it's 11. Oh, 21. Okay. So I want to take. I'm going to round that to 20. So I'm going to take profits along the $20 from here. So every $2, I'm going to take out 1/10 of what I have, which is roughly 9 shares. So that's what I set up now. So it's at like, I got in at like 87. So underneath 89. So here I am. I'm going to start putting in my exits. These are good till cancel EXT orders. And underneath 91. Underneath 93. Underneath 95. So every $2, I'm taking out 1/10. 9 shares of my 88 shares. 95, 97. And as you can see, I'm putting them at 96.96. I'm putting them just under 97. 99. 101. 1 plus 2, 103. So every $2, I'm putting my 10%. 105. 7. I'm getting close to that final exit now. Yeah, and it says I can't put any more because I'm running out of shares for exiting. So I'm going to make that 7 because of rounding. That can happen. 105, I believe was the last one. 105. So yeah, underneath 107, I'll put my last shares. That'll be worth 1.7 grand in profits if it goes ahead and follows through. All right, we're set up on that one. Upstart, really nice. About a 6 to 1 setup right now for entry. Stop at 82. ET Energy. That is an entry, but it was more or less an entry on Friday, and now it's following through. Friday was the entry. I don't think I caught that. No. Did I send out an alert? Friday. No. Well, that's how I was getting ready to travel and stuff. I wasn't around the end of day. But ET had an alert on Friday. Had an entry, rather. Right there. With a stop down here. 20 to 19.7, about 30 cents. Average range is 50 cents, so about half, about an 8 to 1. So you'd be looking at something like right around there. To my eyes, I believe that's 8 to 1 roughly. And already it's up a third of the way to the, well, maybe a quarter of the way to either one, 2 to 1. So that would have been an entry on Friday. In retrospect, that's ET. Well, we got lots of hits. We've got lots of stocks on our hot list. BN, PRI, ALSN. ALSN is pulling back. This might be an entry today on ALSN. Not today because it's not green, but it could have been an entry on Friday. And now we're getting some second chance quality going on. Let's see if it pulls back for the next few days and maybe puts an entry down here for us. ALSN. Okay, yeah. ALSN Glad. It's an entry on Thursday. At the end of the day, I did not alert it. Did not see that. That was an entry, and it really followed through nicely. Might have even set itself up as a 16-to-1, depending on how you took it. And it definitely hit 8-to-1 already. 16-to-1, probably about to 30. Boy, what a beautiful follow through and trade on Glad that would have been. SMWB. That does not look good. Kind of looks like Google dropped and is failing out. Weakness. SMWB. Yeah, it's a problem. We might scratch this off our list. Yeah, bounced off the 20. Definitely don't like that kind of behavior. I'm going to cross it off our list. SMWB. Bad. AKR. Yeah, pretty sketchy for the moment. MIR. No signal. Our Roblox. We got in the other day, a couple days ago, and it's holding. SoFi. Beautiful follow through. SoFi. I believe I have some still. Yeah, there it is. I'm up 18% on SoFi. Not an entry today. Following through NTRA. Okay, this has been consolidating for a while. Eventually, we hope to see it run, but runs are a little bit far in between. It does a lot of consolidating. VST. Okay. CN. Pretty chaotic lately. Can be considered topping action. CEG. Probably you could have considered it an entry this morning, but it's already turned red. RBRK. We want this one to work, but this has been very testy stock. Rubrik. Uber. Uber's following through on an entry that you could have taken about a week and a half ago. Hasn't pulled back to create a new entry. Alab. ALAB. That is an entry today. 91.50, stop at 87.50. 91 to 87, $4. Typical day is 8, so we can get an 8-to-1 set up on Alab. So all we need is a 16% chance for this to work out. So we're going to go for it because that's really all we need. 87 is $4, 350 divided by 4. 87. This is where I get my 88 shares every time. I try to get it at the bid, but I don't think I'm going to get filled because it looks like it's moving up. There we go. 91.80. Okay, so I'm going to set up an 8-to-1 on this. That takes us to 126 approximately. 125 from 92 where we got in. 125 minus 92 is $33 of upside targeting. If I divide that by 10, I'm taking profits out every $3. Maybe I can get a 33. Take 11 exit. Underneath, I could take 11 exits. One every $3. That would give me $33 a gain from here. And the nice thing is I have 88 shares, which divides into 11 evenly as well. So that's where math kind of worked out. So I'll be able to take exactly 8 shares out 11 times, one underneath every $3 of gain. So right now it's at 92. So I'm going to add 3. That's 95. So my first targets will be underneath 95. And every $3, I'm going to take some out. So I'm setting those up. Boom. 98. 101. 104. 107. 110. 13. 115. 118. 121. And my last 8 shares, 124. See, that was close to 125. When you fudge the numbers a little bit, you can get sometimes you can get some nice round results. ALAB. All right, Kava. We have just 12 more stocks to go through. Kava, that is an entry signal on Kava, but it looks like the kind that you'd want to wait till the end of the day on. And we got earnings coming up. Not sure whether or not to get in that. When is earnings? On the 25th. 9 days. How many session days do we have? We have 4 session days. And is it in the evening or the morning? It's on the evening. So in 5 days to try to reach 10 or a 20% gain for padding, I don't think that's going to be realistic. 131 times 1.2, 157. Oh yeah, it's saying that price needs to get all the way up to about here before earnings. I don't see that happening at all, because the reason what happens right before earnings is everybody gets cautious. They don't start buying it up into new all-time high territory. No, they wait. So that's not going to happen. So sometimes that's the way these things get set up. But it is a signal today. By the end of the day, it could remain a signal. Shop. Bit of a pullback today on Shop. Carvana keeps pushing. YPF. Yeah, that could be a signal in a little bit today, but the range of the day is so wide that you can't really get in. All right, that's the way things get set up sometimes. WGS, GeneDx Holdings. WGS had earnings and had a nice positive response on earnings, but it has since, this morning, this positive response, it has since faded. Pretty typical. So we're probably going to wait for a WGS entry in the next few days. I'm going to put that on my napkin list. But you could consider like your at-bat list, or the things that are in almost ready to be in play. GoDaddy. Oh, wow. What a spectacular fail out on GoDaddy. That's not good. I'm going to see what the recovery is like, if there is any. If it continues to fall through the 200, not good. And we're going to scratch it off our list. Goodbye, GoDaddy. ACIW. Okay, it's remaining tight and consolidated, but not an entry day. All right, we got 5 left. BKNG. Booking. Earnings in a day or two. So we're not going to get any entries, and it's already kind of running up into earnings. But we'll definitely watch it. Interesting. Meta with a strong pullback today. After having a beautiful run, hopefully it creates an entry environment soon. APP has been doing really well, but it's pulling back today. The whole market is. And then back to Booksy, whatever this is. Black Sky. Okay. It's interesting. And then ACHR, we talked about earlier. Yeah, both of those are not making good on their entry signals. Like I said, today's just a little too red for a lot of entry signals to be holding. How about Bros, that entry signal from earlier? Yeah, well, that's holding. That's good. coffee is going to remain in demand. What does Bros do better than Starbucks? I mean, I had Starbucks like 3 times in the last 3 days. Just by coincidence, okay? But I mean, I just did, but I did. So, and it's tasty as fuck. I always get the cappuccino. It's just right blend of the amount of milk and the amount of foam and everything, and a fresh grind, and it's an espresso. It's an espresso, so they're doing a pressure expression with steam through the bean, through the grinded bean. It's different than drip. And tasty as fuck, I will tell you. I don't really think it could be topped. The only time I've had a better coffee is probably a Cortado in Miami, which is a Cuban black espresso. I mean, boy, they know how to make their Cortados in Miami. Those are really good. That's probably the only time anything has beat out Starbucks. And in Europe. That reminds me. I was going to say in Europe, man, probably the shittiest street coffee in Europe is better than every fucking thing in America. Starbucks, Dutch Brothers, you name it. It's your most basic coffee. In France, wow. But what I was going to say is I got this $2 wine from this liquor store. Was selling all the different varieties of this one brand's wine for just $2 a bottle. So I said, oh, well, I'll give it a try. So I got rosé, I got a Moscato, I got red, and I got white. And I started with the Moscato and had the red, also the rosé, and now I'm going into the red. Okay, so I've done rosé, Moscato, and did the red. I'm doing the red right now. I threw some on my steak also yesterday. It was delicious, and had some red wine with it. But it's a French wine, $2 French wine, and I can tell you, it's fantastic. It's that $2 French wine, I can absolutely say, is better than the most expensive $100, $200, $3 wine from California. I mean, so far it's been hit for $2. I mean, they must have just been ashamed or something. It was a French wine. In France, the wine they're ashamed of is better than the rest of the wine in the whole goddamn world. That probably second to France. Well, as far as wine, it's maybe tied to Italy and Spain. Trying to think of any other regions which offer. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. So, stick to French, Italian, and Spanish wine when you're doing wine, and you're going to be all right. And you can buy the cheap ones. If it's France, you can buy the cheap ones, and you're going to have a fantastic experience. But yeah, you don't need to spend $20, $30, $40, $50 on wine. You can get bottom of the barrel French wine, and it's outstanding. Now, if you're a wine snob, okay, I get it. But man, for example, I just bought some cigars that were flavored. They have different flavors. One of them has a bourbon. Another one's like boysenberry. Another one's has some vanilla. Another one has some like chai-like spices in it and whatever. And I tried one, and you couldn't even taste the flavor. Whatever flavor they put in there, you couldn't even taste it. And I think they only put it on the wrapper anyway. So it just kind of, it's whatever gets on your lips. And I can tell you that it didn't matter. That, Cuban cigar or whatever it is Cuban cigar, and it's great. You don't need to pay for all the extra frou-frou, this, that, bing, blah, blah, blah. Hey, it's a cigar. Okay, granted, if it's really fresh and it's packed just freaking right and high quality, all the different parts and everything, yep, That's twice as good, maybe 3 times as good as a regular cigar. And boy, does it smoke well. But in the end, it's, even the cheapies smoke well too. I mean, they're cigars. Well, that's not true. Sometimes the drawl is off, but in any event, you don't have to not kill yourself for top tier anything. There's plenty of other alternative, and just stick with like cheap run of the mill Cuban, and you're probably going to be great. Same thing with wine. Cheap run of the mill French, you're going to be fine. All right, that's the show this morning. Have a good day, everybody. I will be in the group, so I'll be talking to you in there. And also, if any signals end up going out at the end of the day, it will be because the market reversed and we have a green day, wind at our back type of confirmation signal to back up any particular individual entries we get in. All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody, and catch you back in the group. Have a good one. And stay safe out there. It's going to be a red week, I think. Bye-bye now.